Welcome back, students. Today in this video we will discuss a practical problem on departmental accounts where we prepare departmental trading and profit and loss account, and there is an adjustment relating to interdepartmental transfers. So before going to this problem, let us understand what is meant by interdepartmental transfers. Dear students, interdepartmental transfers refers to a transfer from one department to another department, a supply of goods and services from one department to another department. Take an example. If there are two departments, Department A and Department B, then Department A, from Department A, a goods worth rupees 5,000 has been transferred to Department B, which is nothing but from one department to another department, a goods worth rupees 5,000 has been transferred. So this is said to be as an interdepartmental transfers. If there are different departments in one business and that department is transferring the goods and services from each other departments, then it is said to be as an interdepartmental transfers. So when it comes to interdepartmental transfers problem, practical problem, we will discuss one problem here, a practical problem. Then with the help of that problem, that is question, we will try to understand how to go with accounting treatment for interdepartmental transfers. So in the screen, a question will be displayed. In that question, with the help of that question, we will go with doing the practical problem. So just see the screen where you find a question. I will read the question slowly. Please, if possible, try to write that particular question, or at least try to maintain or try to note the important points from that particular question. So the question here it is, from the following particulars, prepare departmental trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st of March 2019. So they have given information in the form of a statement where there are 4 columns. In one column they have given particulars, adjustments, and 3 amount columns. One is for department A, another is for department B, and another is for total column. Just see there, opening stock 14,000 for department A, 12,000 for department B, total opening stock 26,000, purchases 75,100 for department A, 69,800 for department B, and total purchases 1,44,900. Sales 1 lakh for A, 80,000 for department B, total 1,80,000. Return outwards, which is nothing but purchase returns, 1,100 for department A, 800 for department B, and 1,900 has total purchase return, that is return outwards. Salaries 9,000 for department A, 8,000 for department, 8,500 for department B, total salaries is 17,500. General salaries they have given, and from this particular adjustment or from this particular item they have given common amount for both the departments. General salaries 11,600, which should be distributed on the basis of sales ratio. Keep this in your mind, as I hope you people know this. Rent and taxes 6,000. Advertising 8,100, which should be distributed on the basis of sales ratio. Insurance 1,000. Carriage outwards 5,400. Discount allowed 1,800. discount earned 1430, accounting charges 1860, carriage inwards 1430 again, and they have given additional information to you. I'll read the additional information one by one. The first additional information: goods transferred from department A to department B worth rupees 5,000 were not recorded. I repeat this: goods transferred from department A to department B worth rupees 5,000 were not recorded. Next additional information: general salaries are to be allocated equally. So general salaries, normally we have to allocate this on the basis of sales ratio, but they have given it should be allocated equally. The area occupied is in the ratio of 3:2. So the area occupied is in the ratio of 2:2. They have given the ratio of area occupied here, space occupied, where rent and taxes should be distributed on the basis of space occupied, 3:2. Insurance premium and accountancy charges cannot be allocated conveniently to any departments. So there are two expenses: one is insurance premium, another is accounting charges, and that cannot be allocated to any department, it seems, which is nothing but we will transfer this to general profit and loss account, but we will not take this in departmental trading and profit and loss account. The last additional information: they have given closing stock of department A has 16,000 and closing stock of department B has 17,000. So this is our question. With the help of this question, let us solve an answer here, where we have to prepare a departmental trading and profit and loss account. In this, I hope you know, you have seen my previous videos relating to departmental trading and profit and loss account, where I have discussed the allocation of expenses and how to prepare the problem. Just concentrate. In the departmental trading account, the debit side of trading account, you have to take opening stock and all the other direct expenses. The credit side of trading account, you have to take direct income and you have to take closing stock. The balancing figure from the trading account you will get as gross profit, or you may get as gross loss. After getting, if you get a gross profit, the gross profit should be transferred here. From this gross profit, from this account, again it should be continued as a profit and loss account, where all the indirect expenses to be written in the debit side of profit and loss account, that is trading profit and loss account. So in this departmental profit and loss account, all the indirect expenses to be written in the debit side. The balancing figure can be a general net profit, that is profit, or it can be a net loss, that is loss. If you get a balancing figure in the debit side in profit and loss account, then it is considered as profit. If you get a balancing figure in the credit side of departmental profit and loss account, then it is considered as a loss. So in departmental profit and loss account, you will debit all the indirect expenses, and in departmental profit and loss account, you will credit all the indirect incomes. Now, as per the question, they have your opening stock, and we know that we have to write the opening stock first in the debit side of profit and loss account. So the opening stock is 14,000 for department A, 12,000 for departmental B. Stock of department B is 12,000. The total opening stock of both the department is 26,000, which we have written. After writing the opening stock, you have to write purchases. If there is any returns, that returns to be deducted from the purchases, and you have to write purchases less returns, where after deducting the returns from the purchases, the purchases of department, the net purchases of department A is 74,000, the net purchases of department B is 69,000, the total net purchases of both the department is 1,43,000, which we have written there. So after writing the purchases, if there is any direct incomes, so direct expenses, the direct expenses to be written here. So from the question, you can identify there is only one direct expense, that is carriage inwards. So carriage inwards should be distributed on the basis of a purchase ratio. We have calculated the purchase ratio here on the basis of net purchases. The net purchases of department A is 74,000. The net purchases of department B is 69,000. So the ratio will be 74 is to 69. On the basis of this ratio, that is 1,430 rupees as carriage inward amount can be allocated as 740 and 690. So carriage inward is distributed on the basis of purchase ratio. Then after this we will write sales less returns. If there is any sales, returns we have to deduct that. So from that 1 lakh has a sales, net sales of department B, department A, 80,000 is the sales of department B. So total sales is 1,80,000 rupees. So we have written opening stock, purchases, carriage inward, sales. If there is any closing stock provided, then you can write the closing stock. As it is provided in the question, the closing stock of department B is 16, A is 16,000, B is 17,000, and for total closing stock of both the department is 33,000. So relating to posting of opening stock, closing stock, direct incomes and direct expenses in trading account, we have done. Now there is an adjustment which you people have to concentrate, my dear students. That is interdepartmental transfer. So in the question, you can see that one department is transferring to another department. Just check the question here. There is an adjustment in the question. Goods transferred from department A to department B were not recorded. So department A is transferring to department B. Department A is transferring to department B here. As it is interdepartmental transfers, so goods is nothing but which will come under real account nature. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. That you can implement on the basis of that you can post this interdepartmental transfers. So who is receiving a goods here? Department B. So for department B, the goods is coming inside the business, coming inside the department. So hence this particular 5,000 worth of goods has been debited in department B. Who is transferring the goods? Department A is transferring the goods. From the department A, the goods is going outside. So credit what goes out. Hence this 5,000 rupees in department A is credited as interdepartmental transfer. So in department B, it is debited because it is coming inside. In department A, it is credited because it is going out. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. On the basis of this particular rule, you can implement or you can post this particular interdepartmental transfer adjustments in trading account. Or else you can maintain or you can keep two things in your mind. Just keep two things in your mind. That is, if it is transferred, if it is received, then it should be debited. If it is received, then it should be debited. If it is given, then it should be credited. So A is giving here and B is receiving. So giving is credited and receiving is debited. So on the basis of this, you can do the interdepartmental adjustment. So after writing the interdepartmental adjustments, you can find out a total. So the highest total should be considered here. The balancing figure will be the, if you get a balancing figure in the credit side, then it is considered as gross profit. So in this question, the gross profit is 32,260 for department A and gross profit of department B is 10,310. Total gross profit of both the department is 42,570. So this is end of a trading account. Let us revise, students. You have to take opening stock, you have to take purchases, then if there is any direct expenses, that expenses should be allocated on the basis of respective ratio. Then you have to take direct income, that is sales, then you have to take closing stock, then you have to do interdepartmental transfer adjustment, which we have done. Then you will get a gross profit. Once you get a gross profit, the gross profit is brought down to the departmental profit and loss account. So we have written gross profit here in the departmental profit and loss account. After this, all the indirect expenses given in the adjustments, all the indirect expenses given in the question, that should be allocated on the basis of respective ratio. Now just see, excluding this insurance premium and accounting charges, any other indirect expenses which is given in the question we have to take here. Why we are not taking insurance premium and accounting charges from the question to the answer? Because they have mentioned in the adjustment that is not taken in departmental trading and profit and loss account. We have to take this in general profit and loss account. So just concentrate. Excluding those two expenses, we have taken other expenses here, that is salaries, where already it is allocated 9,000 for department A, 8,500 for department B, and total 17,500 for both the departments, which is allocated already. General salaries. The total general salaries given in the question is 11,600. But in the adjustment, you can see the general salaries should be distributed or allocated equally. They have mentioned that in the adjustment. Hence, this 11,600 general salaries is distributed equally, has 5,800 for department A and 5,800 for department B. The next expense is rent and rates. On what basis you will distribute rent and rates? On the basis of space occupied by department. On the basis of area occupied by department in a business premises. On the basis of that ratio, you have to distribute rent and rates. So they have mentioned the ratio in the question itself, in the adjustments, additional information you can see. The ratios of space occupied or area occupied is 3:2. Hence, the rent and rates, which is 6,000 rupees, should be distributed on the basis of 3:2, where 4,800 will be the rent and rates for department A and 1,200 will be the rent and rates for department B. Next, advertising. As you all know, advertising is a selling expenses. If it is selling expenses, then this particular expense should be allocated on the basis of sales ratio. The sales ratio we have calculated as net sales of department B A is 1 lakh, net sales of department B is 80,000. So this is how you will get a sales ratio as 5:4. On the basis of this 5:4, you will distribute the advertising expenses. The total given amount in the question is 8,100. And this 8,100 is distributed on the basis of sales ratio, which is 5:4. This is how you will get the advertising expense for department A is 4,500. The advertisement expense of department B is 3,600. Go to the next expense, carriage outward. It is also a selling expense, and it should be distributed on the basis of sales ratio. So the sales ratio here it is 5:4. So on the basis of this, the carriage output is 5,400, and this 5,400 is allocated on the basis of sales ratio, which is 5:4. Through this, you will get 3,000 as carriage output expense for department A, and 2,400 as carriage output expense for department B. The next expense is discount allowed. It is also a selling expense, and this selling expense and this discount allowed should be distributed on the basis of sales ratio. The discount amount is total 1,800. If you distribute this on 5:4 ratio, then it will be 1,000 for department A, 800 for department B. Next, see if you have any direct indirect incomes. Then you will identify one income there, that is discount earned, which is nothing but discount received. So discount received should be distributed on the basis of purchase ratio. You are receiving a discount only when you are purchasing something, right? Hence, this particular discount receipt can be distributed, or it should be distributed on the basis of purchase ratio, where the total discount received is 1430 rupees. On the basis of purchase ratio, that is 74:69, if you distribute, then it will be 740 and 690, where 740 is for department A and 690 is for department B. So we have covered all the adjustments. Now do the total. Find out a total of departmental profit and loss account, not from the credit account, departmental profit and loss account. So from the credit side and the debit side of departmental profit and loss account, you can find the highest amount as 33,000 for department A, 22,300 which is a debit side account, and total is 55,600, where for department A you will get a balancing figure in the debit side, and for department B you will get a balancing figure in the credit side, which is nothing but a department A has a profit of 4,900 which is transferred to general profit and loss account, and department B has a net loss. Department B has a net loss of 11,300 which is transferred to general profit and loss account. So we got debit side balancing figure for department A where we have a profit, and we got credit side balancing figure for department B where we have a loss. So this is an answer and a solution for a question which we have tried understanding. So from this question, students, you tried understanding a departmental trading and profit and loss account with inter-departmental transfers adjustment. As you people got to know, I tried giving a simplest way of understanding the inter-departmental transfers. So in the next videos, I'll come with I'll come with the other problems relating to departmental accounts. Hence, to see those videos also, please subscribe my YouTube channel, that is Commerce with Tawfiq. Thank you so much.